Most people think moving to Southern Oregon means getting a great deal, beautiful scenery, and an easy lifestyle, but that's not always how things play out. So in this video, I'm actually gonna go ahead and break down for you why some parts of Southern Oregon might be overrated and overpriced, what the real pricing, lifestyle, and all those types of trade-offs are, and the hidden costs that buyers face. And I'm gonna include better options that are nearby where your dollar is gonna stretch a little bit further. I'm Brian Simmons with the Buying Southern Oregon Real Estate team, a local real estate expert here in Southern Oregon, and my team and I have helped hundreds of families relocate, retire, and invest here confidently in Southern Oregon. And today I'm gonna give you the honest truth so you can make the right move. Let's start with the first area we're gonna talk about today, which is East Medford. And that is a very, very popular area for good reason. It's very close to everything. So the hospital is right there, all the specialists are right there. And because of those things, a lot of jobs are right there. The country club is right there. Centennial Golf Course is right there. There's all sorts of great things that attract people to want to be right there in that general area, which is essentially off of Barnett Road, going up towards Foothill and on up McAndrews, Cherry Hill, all that area, Eagle Trace subdivision, that whole kind of East Medford area if you look at it on a map. A lot of beautiful homes up there. It has been a lot of development and everything that's gone on over the recent years and for quite some time. So because of that, you're able to find a good variety of homes, everything from brand new builds in the $1 million+ range to much more affordable homes in the 400 range. And so the median sales price there right now is about $515,000, and that's compared to about $450,000 overall for the overall Southern Oregon area. Okay, so it is a little bit of a higher price point, but that is due to the convenient location and the popularity that the area has. There's just much more demand than a lot of other parts of Southern Oregon, and that's kind of like a status thing. You hear somebody say they live in East Medford. It's not like a bragging, but it's kind of like it's the higher end area of Medford for sure. So it is one of those things that's important to be aware of. Again, the location is really the big driver there. On the downside, you're going to get a little bit of like density and not as much privacy as some of the other areas. But again, East Medford, very, very popular. And so a good alternative to East Medford is an area that I am actually standing in right now, which is the Twin Creeks neighborhood of Central Point. So Twin Creeks checks a lot of the same boxes as East Medford. It is very central. It's close to pretty much everything. Just in a few minutes, you could be in Medford, and probably 15 minutes to the hospital, 10 minutes or less to the airport, a lot of stuff. It's very, very good location, a very walkable neighborhood, which is the same as East Medford. Lots of walking paths, lots of big parks like you see behind me, and a variety of types of homes, everything from brand new homes in the $750,000 range to older homes that were built in the early 2000s that you can get in the $400,000 range. And so you have everything in between there as well. And so it's a great alternative. We see a lot of people that just maybe aren't able to find what they're looking for in East Medford, even if that's where they're targeting. And we show them places here in Twin Creeks and Central Point, and they absolutely love it and they end up buying here. So you get a lot of those same features and benefits of East Medford, but at a lesser price point. $480,000 is the median here compared to the $515,000 in East Medford. And it does have some of the same challenges that you would get in most suburban areas in terms of like density and privacy and everything, but that's kind of what you're gonna get in most areas like this. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. But anyways, Central Point, Twin Creeks specifically, very good alternative to East Medford. Area number 2 is Ashland, okay? So a lot of people love Ashland, and again, for very, very good reason. It is the cultural hub of Southern Oregon, very vibrant cultural scene with the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, with Southern Oregon University, with the plaza downtown, the trains going by like you hear. That's actually here in Central Point. So I'm just kidding. But the historic architecture is another thing that people love about Ashland. Boutique shopping, Lithia Park, mountain biking, Mount Ashland to go skiing on. There's tons of amazing things to do there, and it's just obvious why there's such a draw to the city. So because of that, again, price point tends to be a little bit higher, with a median price point there of $580,000 so far this year, or in 2025 in July, just turned into August. So $580,000 is the median price point right now in Ashland, which is one of the higher price points in Southern Oregon. The place is a little bit isolated from the rest of Southern Oregon in terms of distance, and also just in kind of a lot of other ways. It is kind of culturally isolated in that it's just a different culture there. Being in college town, it's the only college town in Southern Oregon. Politically, for the same reasons, being a college town stuff, it is a little bit of an outlier in Southern Oregon in that area, but it is just very much its own unique place, and almost in a way way like the outcasts of Southern Oregon, which not in a weird way, because it's also one of the most appealing and you know, desirable places to live in Southern Oregon. But essentially it's like the town that the locals love to hate, but then they secretly go out there for date night and they hope they don't bump into their friend or their neighbor. It's definitely a true statement. So anyways, an alternative to Ashland is the City of Talent, which is right basically on the outside of Ashland. So you get all the benefits of Ashland, they're all right there, but you get it at a much lower price point at about $450,000 on the median. So you're not going to be walking down to the plaza from Talent, but you could definitely, you know, have a quick car ride and you're there in, you know, less than 10 minutes probably. So you do have less of a downtown vibe in Talent, but it is very up and coming. The Alameda fire burnt through Talent in Phoenix back in 2021, I believe, or 2020, and it burned a lot of structures, and so that whole area has been and being rebuilt, and they've done a very, very good job to really kind of keep things in mind, like what people want in that community, some good restaurants, some fun spaces for people and stuff like that. So a lot of new construction going on there, good up and coming feel, close proximity to Ashland. So if you love Ashland but it's a little out of reach in the price, check out Talent. I think you'll like it. The third area we're going to talk about is also extremely popular, and this is Jacksonville, Oregon, okay? And buyers are drawn to Jacksonville for a number of reasons. Primarily the historic charm. Is created in 1850 or founded in 1853, whatever it is. It is just a very charming downtown scene. Beautiful old historic buildings. That's close to Medford for all the amenities that it has to offer, but it feels like it's its own town. It just feels like you're in your own space there. It has a great little small town community vibe and all that. A current price point in Jacksonville, the median price point is $650,000, so is definitely on the higher end, probably the highest end of any of the towns here in Southern Oregon. But Jacksonville and Ashland kind of go neck and neck and you know, overlap each other every now and then. But we're looking at year-to-date numbers for 2025, and we're at Jacksonville's at $650,000. So it does have a bit of a reputation of being kind of like a giant retirement home. Because of, you know, the price point things, it does tend to attract a certain type of buyer who is more, you know, mature in their finances and has that all kind of dialed in, which tends to be retirees. So obviously, you know, popular for the retirees are amongst the retirees for a reason. But those of you who aren't, you know, living that retirement dream yet, you might not feel like you fit in there, right? So if you're raising a family and you have kids and you're there jumping on a trampoline in the backyard, you don't want your neighbor, you know, yelling over the fence at you because they're trying to watch The Price is Right at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, right? So that's something to keep in mind about Jacksonville. Great town, but definitely a little bit more of a retiree focus there. So if you are looking to retire and you are looking more for that quieter type of a neighborhood where there's a lot more similar people that are living the same lifestyle as you, Jacksonville is a very, very good place to look. But here's the thing, if you're after that historic charm and that's something that you really want to be able to embrace in the town that you live, there's a very good alternative out there. And I will probably get roasted in the comments for even comparing these two cities, but I'm going to tell you, Grants Pass does deliver on a lot of these same points, okay? So Grants Pass, specifically the G Street area of Grants Pass, has phenomenal restaurants. It's historic, it's walkable, and it's really a nice place. I think a lot of people that are going to leave some sort of negative comment about that probably haven't been to G Street lately in the last 5 years or so, because it actually has come up a long ways. There's some really good restaurants, from Twisted Cork to Laughing Clam, Bohemian, Lulu's. Like, there's some really, really fantastic restaurants right there and near there. So I do think Grants Pass delivers on the charming downtown vibe, very similar to Jacksonville. Not quite as high end, but it is very similar, and it is historic. And so I think it does have a lot of those same aspects. The price point also in Grants Pass is going to be significantly less, okay? It is a much larger town and has a much wider variety of homes there. And so it doesn't mean that there aren't nice homes there. I mean, you can spend well over $1 million in Grants Pass, no question, especially if you're looking at places on the river or up on the hill that have a great view and all sorts of stuff like that. So there are amazing opportunities there. Median price point's going to be under the $450,000 range in Grants Pass. And so, you know, again, but you can find anything you're looking for there, from rural with a couple acres or more to in town with a beautiful brand new home, and anything and everything in between. So a couple other really nice affordable alternatives to these big main popular areas that I think are worth exploring that are on kind of our runners up list would be Eagle Point. A median price point there is about $489,000. Amazing golf course there. The rural-ish kind of feeling town, small town, up and coming, a lot of new development going on out there. I think it's a really, really amazing place, and we saw a lot of homes there because people open their mind to being, you know, 20 minutes outside of Medford, and they check it out and they're like, wow, this is checking a lot of boxes for us. beautiful golf course, very walkable town, lots of new construction, and they see that and they really, really like it. Another one is Rogue River, okay? Rogue River is a river town, median price point about $500,000. Awesome location right between Medford and Grants Pass. It's where I personally live. I love it. It has a small town that has everything. So, you know, you need a pharmacy, a grocery store, a hardware store, gas stations, banks, doctors. It has all of it. And so you don't actually have to leave the town for anything. And that's a nice thing to be able to have. But in the event that you do, you can go, you know, 10 minutes down the road to Grants Pass or 20 minutes down the road to Medford, and you just have that nice location right in the middle. Shady Cove is the next one. Median price point of $410,000, very similar to Rogue River in all those ways, but just in a different location, a little more touristy and busy in the summer. So I invite you to check those out. So if you're looking for any more information on any of these towns or just Southern Oregon in general, I invite you to check out our relocation guide. I'm going to put the QR code on the screen right now so you can scan that with your phone and just check that out. There's all sorts of detail about Southern Oregon, about the various towns across the region here, and I think you'll have a lot of your questions answered by that. But also, of course, anytime you need, just go ahead and reach out. Call, text, email, whatever is easiest for you. Reach on out to me. I would love to chat with you. Again, I'm Brian Simmons with the Buying Southern Oregon Real Estate Team. I thank you for watching this video, and why don't you go ahead and check out this next one, and I'll see you there. Thanks.